Let's play Clues by Sam again. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a logic puzzle where you gotta figure out who in the board is a criminal and who is an innocent, and you cannot guess. You have to follow the clues and hopefully make no mistakes. The difficulty today is medium, so let's get started. So, Clyde is telling us that the only innocent in between Deborah and Zavi is Terry's neighbor. Lots of names here. Deborah is here, Zavi is here, and Terry is here. So the only innocent in between Deborah and Zavi is Terry's neighbor. So we know that Isaac is a criminal. Now Isaac is telling us that both criminals above Wally are connected. We have two criminals above Wally. One of them is Clyde, so we know that Gabe is the other one. Both criminals above Wally are connected. Oh, I read criminals. Criminal as innocent. Okay, so we don't know where the innocent is, but we know that two of these three are criminals. Mark has to be one of them. Now, Mark's telling us that both innocents in row one are Isaac's neighbors. Row one is this one, and Isaac is here. We have two innocents in row one, and none of them is Betty. Almost misclicked there. Now, Betty is telling us that only one of the three criminals in a corner is in column D. So we have three criminals in a corner. One of them is Betty, and we have three other corners. And we know that in column D, one of them is an innocent, so Vicky has to be a criminal. Now, Vicky is telling us that there's only one innocent in column D, and we know that one of them is in a corner. I mean, the only innocent is in a corner. So Karen is a criminal, Olivia is a criminal, and Terry is also a criminal. And yeah, we don't need this clue anymore. Now Karen's telling us that there's an odd number of innocents in row 4 neighboring Zavi. Row 4 is here and Zavi is here. There's an odd number of innocents in row 4 neighboring Zavi. So one of these two has to be an innocent. And the other one a criminal. Now, Olivia is telling us that Xavier is one of Wally's 4 criminal neighbors. Wally already has one criminal neighbor here. He's gonna have another one here. And Xavier is the other one. And Pam has to be the other one. Now, Xavier isn't telling us anything. Pam is telling us that all criminals in row 5 are connected. So we know that at least Wally is a criminal because he connects Vicky and Xavier. Now, we don't know if Zed is a criminal yet. We know that he's a cop. So, going back to Terry, he's telling us that column B has more innocence than any other column. Oh, we also had the clue telling us that all criminals were connected in column B, right? Both criminals above Wally are connected. Right, so we don't know yet if Ryan or Gabe are the criminal. But we do know that column B has only two innocence. And if it has more innocence than any other column, then we know that All the other columns have at max one innocent. Now, Wally doesn't tell us anything as well. The only innocent between Deborah and Xavier is Terry's neighbors. So we know that there is an innocent between Deborah and Xavier, and since in this column there cannot be any other innocent, we know that Deborah is a criminal. Now, Deborah doesn't help us. What else? What else? Mark's telling us that both innocents in row 1 are Isaac's neighbors, so we know that Amy is an innocent and Zed is a criminal. Zed doesn't tell us anything. Now, Emily is telling us that Logan and Olivia have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Where's Logan? Here. And Olivia here. So Olivia has 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I know that column C has one innocent, might have one innocent, but it may also have 0 innocence. I don't need this clue anymore. Now, I don't need this clue anymore. There's an odd number of innocents in row 4 neighboring Xavier. Both innocents in row 1 are Isaac's neighbors. I don't need this anymore. Isaac's telling us that both criminals are both wholly are connected. That doesn't really help us. Olivia is telling us that Xavier is one of Ollie's 4 criminal neighbors. Yeah. Terry is telling us that column B has more innocence than any other column. Now let's think about Logan and Olivia having equal number of criminal neighbors. Let's do some tagging. Olivia might have at most one innocent neighbor. If Susan is innocent, then Nancy has to be criminal and she'll have 4 criminal neighbors. In that case, Logan has to have 4 criminal neighbors, which means that Gabe and Freya have to be criminal. I mean, if Susan is an innocent, then Ryan is a criminal and Gabe is an innocent. And that would satisfy the condition. On another note, if Susan is a criminal, Ryan has to be an innocent and Gabe has to be a criminal. In any case, Freya has to be a criminal. Now, Freya is telling us that there's an odd number of criminals in column A. So we know that Logan is also a criminal and we don't need this clue anymore. Now, Logan's telling us that it's exactly one cop has a criminal directly to the left of them, which is Zed. And we have another cop here, and she cannot have a criminal. So Ryan's an innocent, Susan is a criminal. And we don't need this anymore. Ryan doesn't tell us anything. Susan telling us that pretending to be a cop is illegal. Doesn't tell us anything. But we know that Gabe is a criminal. And since Logan and Olivia have the same number of criminal neighbors, then Nancy has to be innocent. And that's it for today. Less than 10 minutes and one stupid mistake that I just misread the term, but that's nice for a median. Let's try again tomorrow.